All right. So you're here because you want more leads for your business and you've been using a bunch of different services like Apollo, maybe Zoom Info, and you're spending a lot of money. And perhaps you've even used list building services. Like I personally used to pay, um, I think I paid $100 for a list of like $120 Canadian for a list of like 1,000 Instagram contacts, which honestly was pretty useful. It got me 5 clients out of that list. And so I'm not complaining. Those things work. But if they're emails and if you're selling on LinkedIn, you really shouldn't be paying any dollars to some person who's going to do it manually when you can literally take control of it and do it on scale, do it on demand. And that's exactly what we're going to show you in this video. And I'm going to make it very quick. So the first thing that we're going to see is how you're going to generate leads. How you're going to literally download information on demand whenever you need it for your ICP. And then you can also automate it. And I'm going to show you how you will automate that process when you could just click one button and then it'll give you those lists and right away. So without you having to go through multiple different places. But either way, whatever suits you, I'm going to show you both of the things. And then for a later day, I'll make a video on how you can automate the outreach as well as cold outreach, for example, email, as well as calling. You can do that now. So let's get going. Without further ado, let me share my screen with you. No, I'm not sure if you've heard of Apify. Basically, it's a place where you can use different types of scrapers, and that's what we're going to use today. So based on where your ICP is, based on where your ideal customer profile is, where your ideal customer lives, basically, if it's is it on Google Maps, then you probably want to use a Google Maps scraper. But then if it's on LinkedIn, that's the scraper that I'm going to show you is the one that you want to use, because that's the one that I use currently religiously, and that's the one that I would recommend. And honestly, the information about the information has been good quality. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people saying that you have to then verify it. Sure, if you can and if you can afford it, sure, um, put it through a verifier. But I find I do outreach daily and I have systems like automations and instantly and stuff like that. And I just throw it in there and it's been working pretty good. And it gives you phone numbers as well. So let's uh let's start building that right now. But like the easiest way, literally the easiest way is just go on to Epify, create an account, and you want to search for LinkedIn leads. Just whatever you want to search, okay? Honestly, maybe not. You just search for leads because I don't. Just search for leads, and usually the first one will be the lead finder, or you can just literally just search for this leads finder, and then you'll get to this page, which, as you can see, I have created a list for myself already. So like a thousand number as a thousand number. Basically, it's asking you how many leads do you want to fetch? And I put 1,000 because 1,000 is $2, I believe. Yeah, $2 for the plan that I'm on. If you have a more expensive plan, it'll be a little bit cheaper. But 2 cents to just start the scraper. So I suggest that if you were to use this, the first run that you want to do, just make it 50 so that you can kind of test, like, is it fetching the right people? Is it fetching the people that I actually want to want the information of? So in my case, it's the co-founder, CEO, C-suite people in the United States. And I can exclude just like Apollo, just like any other lead service you just give it some parameters and you make some selections and you basically just tell it what you want and then it does it and it does it for you. So I would select 50 so that you're not paying too much money for the wrong leads. Like the last thing you want to do is just have a button selected here and unknowingly, and then you put like 10,000 in there, and then all of a sudden $20 are gone out of your account, and you only have so many dollars limited in the account unless you obviously recharge more and stuff. But yeah, I would just start with 50, and as you can see, I started with 50, and I called it Alex COO because maybe I just like, yeah, this is my personal persona more so. So now I have a list of all the people, and I remember when I generated this list, I was like, maybe I don't want this list. Maybe I don't want like these kind of companies in there. So it was good to kind of see. So another hot tip that you'd want to consider is that you want to make sure that you're very specific because you can always do more. And it's only 2 cents that it takes to start the scraper, the actor is what they call it on Amplify. So I would rather be like, just founders only, not CEOs and, just founder. And then I would also be like, oh, just this region or, just be as specific as you want, but also not too specific that it just literally has no results for you. Um, the things that you really want to be specific about is the company size and industry and the position because these are the things that really matter the most. And keywords, I wouldn't bother with them, but if you really know your industry specific keywords, I would highly encourage. But at the same time, when you do add keywords, it does narrow your search a lot. So you want to be careful with that. But as long as you have the industry right and only one in there, I would say that's the best way to go. Just scrape 50 leads first. And then once that's done, you could be like, okay, well, all 50 out of, oh, sorry, like 30 or even 35 out of those 50 are the results that I actually want and the companies that I actually want to be talking to. Then you can be like, okay, well, we can go and, create maybe even 50,000 people list. So this is, for example, a run that I ran. It gives you a work email, personal email in some cases, but you don't really want a personal email because like it doesn't make that much difference because email, they're checking both emails anyway. What you do want, however, is mobile number. Now this is something really cool, and I wonder if I just called one of these, would Steve answer? Anyways, I don't want to do that right now. But yeah, there, as you can see, there's not every account does not have the phone number, but most of them do, and that's as good as it gets because it's it's just one of those things that it's hard to find phone numbers, and I'm sure. And actually, I have tried Apollo as well on a paid version where I've tried to find or look for my girlfriend's phone number, and I couldn't find it. It was her work phone number. So like, things like that. Like the 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 thing that we get wrong about these kind of things is that, oh, if we go to Zoom Info, we will find better data. No, you will only find the data that's publicly available, and these scrapers are doing the same job as theirs are. Maybe a little bit better as far as the tech goes, but you get what I mean. Like just because you're paying for it doesn't mean it's better. Just or you're paying for both. Just because you're paying more for Apollo or Zoom Info does not mean that they have some magical data. Like no. So these numbers are pretty good. I have called this marketing list. Yeah, I think it's the Samantha one. Yeah, this marketing list, as you can see, output was 4,000 contacts, and I was calling a lot of them and they were getting through just fine. And as you can see, there's a lot of phone numbers. Like, yeah, if you don't get Tracy or yeah, Tracy's number, it's not the end of the world. Just move on to the next one. Anyways, that's my rant. But you get the idea. Try with 50 and then go 4,000, 10,000, however many you want to. I would stay under the range of 5,000 because sometimes you put 10,000 in there and then there's not that many contacts anyways. Like, but honestly, now that I say that, you probably want to go more than less because if there isn't any 10,000, let's say your whatever you searched here only has 6,000 people. But if you only like if you put in the input that I only want 2,000, then the problem with that is that it will give you 2,000 of those 6,000 leads. But then the problem is that when you get the first 2,000 and you do another run for 2,000, it might give you the same contacts that I gave you the first time. So once you have your ICP literally dialed in into this, you want to make sure that you put a higher number if you can afford it. By the way, if you do need that number of people and that much information, yes, you want to shoot for higher because if you put in 10,000 people in a list of 6,000 people, like if you put in 10,000 here, but it only has 6,000 people's information, then it will still only generate 6,000 people, but at least there won't be any duplicates. Okay. And it would only cost you, it would only charge you for 6,000 contacts. So it's not that like if you put 10,000 here, it's going to charge you for 10,000. It's not going to charge you for 10,000. It's only going to charge you what it delivers. So always keep that in mind. Start with 50 or 100 and verify those leads. Is that the ICP? Is it getting it right? Is that the type of people that I want to talk to? And then all of a sudden you go to 10,000 and you've got literally more data than you know what to do with it. Just like I did, as you can see, I've got a 50 here, and then I made the mistake, and that's how I learned. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll do 800 because I was like, I don't want to spend that much money. I only want a few people. But then I did 800, and as you can see, these are. And then I was like, okay, I'll do another 800. But then I was like, oh wow, these lists are kind of like there's a lot of duplicates in there. Whereas I should have done was 4,000 instead of and not done any of these runs. Should have just gone for 4,000 or 10,000 or wherever. And then that's how I learned it. So for Samantha, the marketing ICP, I only did 4,000. And for manufacturing ICP, I again only did 4,000 because I know that, I don't want duplicates and I don't want to be paying more than I should or I have to. So here I'm, at the limits, but anyways, you get the idea. And then I again did 100. Like what I'm trying to tell you is what I'm learning from my mistakes so that you don't have to spend money on stupid costs. So as you can see, I did 100. I tried to do another list for founders under 20 employees, 100 people first, and I looked at the work it generated for me, information it got, and I was like, you know what, I could do with that, and let's now make it 1,000 of those. So that's one way to get lots of leads, and the quality is really good, I must say. Like you'd be surprised, and obviously if you are using mass outreach, you're probably going to want to do the email verification. Make sure it's it's not just like wrong emails that you're sending to, because some of them are not active, obviously. So that's something that you want to do. Make sure of that. And it's very cheap too, like maybe $30-$40. So you can do unlimited or thousands of email validations. So I would highly recommend that, even though it says in the scraper that these are all validated emails, as you can see, email, I would still not trust it because I have seen like some of them kind of come back to me and not and say that, oh, this email doesn't exist. But anyways, you get the idea. Now, how do you want to automate this? So here we have a n8n instance. And how do you want to automate getting stupid amount of leads? I was going to say something else. Stupid amount of leads so that you have no clue what to do with them, but you're forced to just do a shit ton of outreach so that you can actually get those customers that you desire. So we're going to use a simple workflow using n8n, and we can just set a schedule. There's a bunch of ways to do that, and you can customize, you can create your whole front end and then have it do, literally the same thing that we did, but automatically you can create Apollo-like front end as well, where it gives you option and you select, and then like you have a whole different app for yourself all of a sudden, and then you can add a verifier and everything. But we're going to keep it simple. We're assuming that you just want to get to the outreach and you don't want to get too cute. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do is have a trigger. When do you want to start the workflow? So here is the basic schedule, maybe every day or every other day. Let's say every day you want. Or honestly, just because we are not doing every day, because I told you that you probably don't want to do 100 leads a day, because if you do 100 leads today and you do another 100 leads tomorrow, the problem with that is that your next 100 leads that you're going to get tomorrow are probably, some of them are going to be duplicated, and so you don't want that, because if you get 100 that you get today, those will be fresh leads because you have no database, so any lead will be fresh lead. But if you get 100 tomorrow, maybe 30 of those are duplicates, maybe most of them are fresh, but you don't really want to lose 30 leads when all you're getting is 100 and 30 of them are duplicates. You don't really want that to happen. So what you want to do instead is not set a schedule trigger, set a manual trigger where you click on this workflow for it to just generate leads for you. Okay. So what happens when you click this workflow? What you want is you want to search for Apify, and then you want to click on Run an Actor. Okay. And then you're going to obviously connect your API, Apify, using this credential here, create a new credential, and then you're going to go connect my account, and then it's going to take you to the login console. Okay. I don't need to do that because I have done it already. So I'm going to go with this, and then I'm going to choose an actor. Which actor do I want to run when I click on that manual trigger? And you're going to search. You can just say that you want Leads Finder. Sorry, I need to plug my computer for charging. And then, all right, we're good. Oh, wow, 2%. We got it at a good point. It was almost about to shut down. Anyways, so this is where we're going to put JSON. Now, trust me, I don't know about you, but I don't know anything about code or JSON or anything like that, okay? But I have managed to build a lot of workflows using JSON, but I didn't write any, okay? So how are we going to get this information so that the actor knows what information about who information do we want, okay? Now we're going to go get that in Apify. So you, let's say, work for a company that sells HR software to manufacturing companies, and you like to talk to maybe HR managers. Okay, so let's just say 50 here, and you can increase the number. Like I said, you know get the list of 50, and then you can increase it to 5,000, 50,000, whatever, if you like the first list of 50. And I'm going to name this file HR managers. Let's say you also serve companies below 200 or 500 count. That's your sweet spot. So here's your ICP. You sell software that helps them with HR to manufacturing companies that are under 500 employee count. And you want to talk to the HR managers. Okay, that's your ICP. Now we want to find a job title, which will be HR manager. I'm going to add another one here, which will be director of HR. And what other people do we have? HR manager, director. I think that's pretty good. Maybe a recruit. No. HR. Yeah, let's just roll with that. And then we're gonna say seniority should be director and head of HR. Yeah, that was something else. VP HR, is that a thing? Senior, sure. We can add all these and get rid of functional level. We can just be human resources. Oh, that's perfect. There we go. And yeah, head of HR here. All right. Now we're gonna set a location, probably US or however. Like I am in Canada, but like we could just go with US for now. Do we want to give them a company website? Probably not. But we do want to set number of employees. And this is our ICP, basically. Anybody who is less than 500 employees. Now, ideally, I want to talk to people who actually have money and the reasons to get an HR software. And those people are probably in this range and probably not in 1 to 20 employee count. So we're going to avoid that. And then we're going to go to manufacturing here. Manufacturing. Railroad, sure. I mean, as long as it's manufacturing. Construction, we can do construction too. Consumer. We're just going to find the industries that are kind of, related to more manufacturing. We can do oil and energy, oil and gas. Yeah. And wholesale. But anyways, I think that's probably pretty good. I used to work for an HRIS, so that's how I kind of know, what kind of people do you want to talk to? But then I'm scrolling and yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, they used to sell to this industry. They used to sell to that one too. So we'll keep it that way. Now you want to add any research? Oh, keywords. Sorry, manufacturing. But honestly, don't need it because we've already added our industry. Now the thing with the keywords is that you only want to add them when you like your industry, when you know your industry, and when you go to the websites, it's really hard to determine from because I know it because my niche is software companies, SaaS companies, and it's hard to find in the industry section their thing. Yeah, it says computer software, but then that can also be a company that builds computer softwares for other companies, and there's not necessarily a software as a service company. You know what I mean? So that's why I had in keywords the platform tool, because on their website it would say ABC is a platform that helps Now if it has that keyword platform or a tool or whatever solution, I know that it is a software company because it's a platform. It's a platform and it's online, so it's a software. you know. So that's kind of what we're looking for now. And let's save this. Now, you see this JSON here? Now, everything that we selected, based on that, it gave us a JSON. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to our heading and then just paste it and get rid of this. All right. Well, now we have set up a actor. Now, obviously, we need the actor to finish once it's started. So I like to just give it 1 minute based on like 50 leads. It's 1 minute. It's good enough. So you can either add a wait here or you can add a wait here. Okay. But you can only add 60 seconds here. So if you're creating or generating more than 1,000 or 5,000 leads, 60 seconds is not going to be enough. So it's going to be maybe midway through the operation, and then it's going to, so like the whole idea of this wait is to let it finish, let the actor finish, so that we can add another node which goes and fetches all the data that this actor generated. Okay, because you've told it to just go get that data, but now you need to get data from the actor itself. So we're going to add a node for that, and for that it's going to be get dataset items. Okay, and here we need a dataset ID, and in order to get that, this node needs to finish, or we need to kick it off first so that we can get the dataset ID in a expression, so that because every actor that we run, every job we run, it's a different dataset ID and it's a new ID. So it's hard to you don't want a fixed value in it. You want a variable. So once we have that, then we can just literally push it to Google Sheets or Airtable or your CRM, whatever you have. Append or update. Append or update actually works. If append or update means that if it has that email already, it'll just update and not add another one to make it a duplicate. Okay, so that's the one that you want to use if you're already if you got one, Google Sheet that you are putting all the information in, so that it can keep it non-duplicate data. So let's throw it in there. And oh yeah, that's probably not the one we want. Sure, we could put it in manufacturing leads, actually. That might work. But yeah, now we have all, this is something that I did in the past where I created another different version of this. And yeah, now what we need to do is match these columns, like where do I want what? And then it's the end of the workflow, unless you want outreach started after that, which I'll create a separate video for because this one's getting too long. So let's test this. Here we go. First error, which is perfect because we want those errors. The workflow has issues. Okay, yeah. So it wouldn't let us start the workflow until we put a dataset ID on here. Let's just put one randomly. and save it. And then there we go. Now, what it's doing is it has started the actor, and now we can see that in Apify in runs. It's probably running. There it is. Now, as it's running, you'd be able to see like the output it's trying to generate and stuff like that. There we go. That's our 50 leads that we got. And I want to see if these people are actually the people that I want to talk to, because and that's why we have this. Their LinkedIn, just click on that, see if it's actually an HR person, head of business planning. So, yep, head of human resources, okay, head of HR at this company. So that's, as you can see, is pretty darn good. And you can see their job title here, full name, headline, and whatnot. So that worked, which is perfect. And now it's waiting for it to finish. And now it's just gonna, now we need to put a actual dataset ID so that it can actually go get those results and put them in the Google Sheet that we assigned it. So here we're going to be able to find a dataset ID right here, and we're just literally just going to drag and drop it here and execute step. And as you unable to sign, oh yeah, I need to change, yeah, there we go. All right, so now it has fetched all the data. As you can see, limit of, as you can see, there's 50 items in here. And now what we want to do is just have this Google Sheet updated. Ideally, when the workflow is live, you shouldn't have to do all these steps manually, but I'm doing it because you will for the first time, because now you still have to match the things, right? So company description, here, the first one, done. Now company domain. I like this company description because now you can use this as a research, as the things that you know about the company when you're doing outreach. So that makes your life a whole lot easier. Company domain, which is basically just the website, and that is here. Founded year, I mean, do we really care about that? Or the address, company LinkedIn, maybe. And we can just drag and drop that. We don't want the company UID, company name. Ideally, we want that. Clover. Company phone. I don't really like that company phone unless it's a personal phone, which it almost never is. But sometimes it's founder's phone number. Just something to keep in mind. Company size. I don't really need it when I know that, you know, like it's somewhere in the middle of range of. But I guess you can add company size so that you know, like, what's the head count of the company that you're talking to. I don't want the street address, maybe technologies. Let's see what's under technologies. Yeah, so they're using these technologies. And that tells you a little bit about something. Funding, don't worry about that. Website, we can use, I guess we can use the company domain now. Country, US, we know that. Email. All right, now we want the email. What I like now, we're getting to the personal juice. First name, John. Full name, last name is probably here somewhere. No, not yet. Full name. Functional level. I don't care about that. I want the headline. It's right here. Industry, construction. That's probably important as well, because when you're doing outreach, it'll help you just see it at one place, the industry. Keywords, we're down here somewhere. Sure. Keywords is nice because you can kind of see like what kind of work they do, what kind of language they speak, so that you can just say things that they already say and listen to and see and watch and whatever, and that'll just help you make yourself feel a little bit familiar. Mobile number. Oh, I probably want that too, actually. Personal email. Seniority level. Sure, I'll go with that. I'm going to delete the state. Head. There we go. So now our data is all matched. Now, regardless of what's inside, this information, it'll always put in the updated correct data. Now we can just run this and go to our manufacturing leads list. I don't think it's that one. Yeah, there it is. And as you can see, we should be able to see them here. Oh, was it Clover? Let's see. Clover. Oh, we didn't match window. Okay, column to match on. Let's just say email. There we go. And execute. Now we should be able to see whatever's going on in here. And Clover should soon pop up. As you can see, it's only 0 of 0. So there is no results, but there it is. Now that this node is finished, we have Clover. So now everything below Clover is the people that we want. So there you have it. Now, instead of 50, you can literally add 500, 5,000, whatever you want to. And that way, you'll never run out of people to contact and leads, because these are all the people that you can sell your HR software or whatever you sell to. Again, to recap, this is our workflow. Now it's ready to go. You can just hit this and then it'll do its thing. And you don't have to do anything because you've set it up correctly. Now it's just going to wait for 1 minute. And as you can see, it's probably running here. There we go. And yeah, so that's the beauty of setting it up in a nice fashion where, you just sit and relax and drink your coffee while it's fetching leads for you, and you don't have to pay X number of cents. Like I remember the company that I used to work for, we used to pay 30 cents for a lead, and that's massive. Here you can get $2. So for $2, you can get 1,000 leads. But over there back then, you would only get 7 leads maximum for $2. That's insane, isn't it? Like $7 leads versus 2,000 leads for $2. There it is. Now it's getting the data set items, and then manufacturing. Let's just go back in there again and find manufacturing leads where we have. So remember, we were at Clover. And Clover was the first lead of our last one, and then we should have 100 leads now underneath the Clover. Oh, we have 45 only, and that's because it's a manufacturing lead list already, so it has caught some duplicates, obviously, and so some of the leads that it just scraped are inside my lead list already. So you get the idea. But it has generated 50 leads for us. Like there it is. And you see, that's why you want to do a higher number so that there is no chance of duplicacy. Because you don't want to just run the scraper over and over again for the same leads. You want to set it to like 5,000 and then have it give you new 5,000 leads. And if you're serious about outreach and if you do heavy volume, set it to 50,000, see what happens. It's only $100 for 50,000, but you get the quality leads. And you might even there might not even be 50,000 contacts. So you might have to change the country or even add Canada or other countries to it. Um, and then you can do that just by clicking on this actor and here add the country here should be there. Oh, there it is. Just add United States and then Canada and then go copy, the new JSON. And that's the easiest way. But yeah, there you have it. If you like it, well, keep watching and hopefully share it with somebody else who you think might use it. And I'll see you in the next one where we build a new N8N agent that does outreach for you instead of, and then you click one button, you get 1,000 leads, and then those 1,000 leads, you just click another button and N8N does outreach for you. And you just sit back and enjoy your coffee. I'll see you in the next one.